Radio in motion program loading in 3, 2, 1. Program activated.
Attention everyone, the unpleasant noise you are about to hear coming from your radio is not a mistake.
Okay, first things first, what is your name?
This is Big Sonny playing the best of the 90s and beyond.
Are you ready for this?
Yeah. Radio in motion.
Please do not turn off your radio, but turn up the volume on your receiver as high as it can go.
All right, ready, here we go.
Radio in motion.
All right, welcome back to the show. Thanks for joining me on tonight's Radio in Motion Tuesday night party. But first, we're going to have another episode of The Ugly Truth. And the ugly truth is Hollywood loves money. And Hollywood lately seems to love sequels. And not all movies need a sequel. I think some movies are standalone. Sometimes the story arc and the character is all wrapped up. You got all you needed. Done in one. But like I say, that doesn't always happen. I feel like they've run out of ideas lately. I think we're on Jurassic Park 9, the entire Star Wars universe, Indiana Jones, Marvel, Disney, Empires. All of it has been milked. And it looks like they're just not learning their lesson. So tonight we're going to talk about another one that I'm not quite sure how I feel about this, but it's Happy Gilmore 2. Now, this was released on Netflix, and I feel like it really wasn't released to huge fanfare. It seems like there's not a lot of buzz about it in general. Obviously, again, it's different when a Netflix release is going up against movies. Yes, people still do go to the movies, believe it or not. And right now, Superman is out and Fantastic Four. So that's the giant DC and Marvel juggernauts head to head. But for those that don't want to leave their lounge room, there's always Netflix. And, look, I'm going to review what I thought. I will try to leave out any heavy spoilers. And like I always say, make up your own mind, make up your own opinion. Everyone has an opinion. We're not here to knock it down. We're just here to, like anyone does when they review a movie or critique anything, whether it's art hanging on the wall, a piece of music, it's just for feedback. And if it is something where the movie makers could have done better, let's hope they listen. But like I preface that, I feel like Hollywood isn't listening. I feel like they're going for the almighty dollar over everything else. So look, the original Happy Gilmore, if you haven't seen it, I don't know where you've been. It's a classic, quotable, rewatchable, perfectly complete on its own. It's one of those movies where it may be in the back of my mind 25 years ago or so, I thought, it'd be interesting to have a sequel, but I feel like that time has passed and they may have missed their window. And I was quite happy to not have to expand on the Happy Gilmore universe. And look, it is Netflix, so it has all the hallmarks. Hallmark the joke, because Hallmark movies are synonymous with a lot of cheesy, low-budget productions. But yeah, it has all the hallmarks of a modern sort of streaming movie. Plenty of cameos, callbacks, flashy editing, but lacking sort of the heart and originality of Happy Gilmore. And again, this is not to say that all sequels don't work. Historically, again, you never know if you get the right mix, the right story, the right director, the right cast, and you end up with something like Terminator 2, which, absolutely expands and dare I say improves on the first. And Terminator 2 is one of those, you don't even have to be a sci-fi action star or Arnie star. The movie, the story, the characters, the plot line, the pacing, dare I say, it's pretty close to being perfect in so many ways as a movie. Aliens, James Cameron again, building on Ridley Scott's Alien. Now those two, you say, they probably stand alone as they're a little bit different. The Ridley Scott probably airing more on the sci-fi horror, and Aliens probably leaning more towards the sci-fi. But I think Aliens was a respectful follow-up and certainly a welcome expansion to the Alien universe. And I will mention Top Gun Maverick as a movie that, whether you thought it was breaking, new boundaries or anything, for a movie 30 years later, involving the same characters and the same actor. Now that one, I am going to compare it a bit to this, in that I think, even though it took that long, hey, it would have been great to have a Top Gun sequel a bit earlier, but for whatever reason, a little bit better story, a little bit better production, maybe just timing in general. That one, I feel, even though it came out so much later, still found an audience. People still came back, and you know what? It expanded on the story enough that I was like, oh yeah, that's cool. Oh yeah, I don't mind seeing that. Little bit same, but also a little bit different, and leaned into the older and wiser kind of aspect. So look, Happy Gilmore 2, what can I say? The general feel, I have to say, I feel like it was a very mid-tier Netflix movie. And unfortunately, it just felt a little bit forgettable and rushed. And by the way, again, when everyone's, oh, you're just a hater and you don't like it when an actor comes back for a role and is getting older, this is nothing about Adam Sandler. The man has earned his place in pop culture history in so many levels, well beyond his early days in Saturday Night Live. And when you hear about Adam Sandler himself and his family and his friends and all the people that continue to work with him, this has nothing to do with him. We're just talking about the movie, and sometimes it misses the mark. Happy to see more things from Adam Sandler, definitely. And he's even, and if you are a fan, he's had breakout roles where he went beyond just strict comedy. And you know what? He has the range to have some deep dramatic chops in real acting chops. So again, I hope he finds another role that he can sink his teeth into and really show us what he's got. I don't think Happy Gilmore 2 was that. So, and this one is, like I say, it's forgettable. I feel like I'm going to forget in T-1, 2. I forgot. I don't even know, and I really have no need to see it again. And again, not a dig at Adam Sandler. And like I said before, I think timing is everything. The sequel would have probably made more sense about 25 years ago. And sometimes, hey, I get it. The stars don't align. People's careers, stories, productions. Again, a movie, and when I talk about movies, I have a passion for that business. And I understand what goes into it. It's not about the fact that even a movie that doesn't land or a movie that flops, we're not talking about it doesn't have hardworking cast from everyone, from the caterers to the camera operator to the assistant director, everybody, hundreds of people. It takes a small town these days to make a movie. This is just about, sometimes people have to make those tough decisions, and sometimes maybe they make it for the wrong reasons. And sometimes I think that is money over good story and good pacing. So again, I feel like the tone was a bit different, felt a bit disconnected from the magic of the original. Again, hard to do that. Always hard to capture that lightning in a bottle for any movie. Whatever it is. I can even say Jurassic Park or Jaws or Indiana Jones, anything that seems like they're just trying to recapture the same thing. Not easy. Quite rare to do it. I want to avoid spoilers. I have to give one, only that I'm sure maybe it's already sort of out there, but I have to say this just because it sets the tone for the movie. And frankly, it really did surprise me. So the movie opens with a bit of a flashback during one of Happy Gilmore's big tournaments. And, the joke is, even Happy Gilmore can shank one once in a while. And he did. And so he strikes the golf ball with his massive striking ability. And it hits a bit of a chili pepper, shanks it, and it goes off into the crowd. And this is the spoiler. It whacks his wife square in the head and kills her. I'm telling you that because I actually said out loud, "What the hell?" And for quite a bit of the rest of the movie, I kept scratching my head going, that seemed extreme. That really seemed excessive. An unexpected dark tone felt very jarring. And look, it was the same actress as the first movie. And again, it's Happy Gilmore, so I don't think I'm going to ruin the whole thing. But she is still in the movie by way of flashbacks. But to kill the character like that, when I think, we were all expecting if he was going to come back, and a lot of others, that just made sense that she was going to come back too. But look, I'll get into that. There's a reason for that, obviously. And in this case, it was really to drive the story. Now, I also heard rumors that the actress herself didn't necessarily want to come back. I think she had mentioned she felt she had gotten a bit older and didn't feel right. Let me tell you, she looks great. She's fine. She's still very funny, great actress. And so I don't think that wouldn't have been an issue. Adam Sandler is obviously aging as well, okay? And you're allowed to do that. I know it's harder for women in Hollywood. They feel like they can't age. They miss out on those parts. But they both are age appropriate, okay? It's not like she was much, much older or younger or vice versa, which can happen. So that aside, either way, for the plot, I assume, they had to give you something different. So I get that. So it's sort of the fall of Happy Gilmore. So after that tragedy, Happy spirals into alcoholism. That's not funny, but that's the plot. So you can imagine how Happy Gilmore would take that. And of course, in the opening montage, it showed us a bit of what we've missed over the past 25 years or so. They have a family together, and he's doing well. They have 4 boys and a daughter, and it shows obviously what we would want to see. He builds on that career from the moment we left him, when he got grandma's house back, and he was taking all those giant cardboard checks home. He did well. So that was nice to see. So it opened up really like, oh, this is nice. And I get it that you have to have something to drive the plot, and it can't be the same old thing. But like I say, this one just seemed very extreme. So it shows that he's winning tournaments throughout the years, getting better and better, more well-known. He is Happy Gilmore. Life is great. They're doing great. Money, life, happiness, wife, kids. So yeah, obviously that was a tragedy, and so Happy Gilmore falls. And like Ron Burgundy, he fell hard. So yes, I mentioned he has a daughter in the movie. Again, you can look this up. It's not a spoiler. It's actually played by his real life daughter. One of his older daughter is in the movie too in another part. But this part was actually nice. Okay, it was a real father-daughter redemption arc. And that was nice to see. And look, if anyone gives them shit for saying, just trying to get your kids in the movie so they can get their SAG cards so they can become actors and actresses. So what? That's how that business works. And again, he's earned the right to do whatever he wants. And if his kids are interested in the craft and he can get them in his own movie, you would do the same thing. So I have no problem with that. And I think they had really great chemistry together. So his daughter, the character in the movie, she wants to be a ballerina. That's her big dream. But it's also big money to send her to this school in Paris. And after Happy has fallen on hard times, they've all fallen on hard times as a single dad. Lost the house, lost the money, lost the flashy cars. And so he doesn't have the money to send her to the school so she can reach her dream of being a ballerina. So he aims to make a comeback to help her. But, after so many years off the green, it's not so good. So again, these parts are kind of funny. I get it. They had to find something to drive him so that he could go on a bit of a hero's journey again. I get that. Maybe it would have been no fun just to see Happy Gilmore happy. although it started off like that. So he's starting off sort of back at the bottom, trying to climb out of the bottle. And he was on the golf course with some other golfers. It was kind of a funny scene. They didn't know it was him. Sort of got sunglasses on and a hat down, and he's sucking at all his shots, and he can't hit the big drive anymore, which is Happy Gilmore's trademark shot to drive it with all his anger all the way to the green. But so the joke is, Happy sucks now? Okay, so that's a bit funny. So Happy Gilmore sucks. He's got to climb back up to the top. And the scenes of him struggling and raging, classic Happy, but an older version, an older version of Happy going, son of a bitch. So yeah, that's sort of funny. Look, again, I think the father-daughter relationship, that brings some emotional weight and some heart to the movie. So that part's nice. The other kids, kind of strangely, is four sons, probably supposed to be like 18, 19 or something. And they, funny enough, all inherited his rage, his hockey rage. They're all pretty much exactly like him in mannerisms. That's sort of funny, but I'll be honest, the way they were sort of slipped in, it feels like it was mostly just for comic relief and not essential to the plot. And in some ways, it just felt gimmicky and sort of not fully developed, almost like they were in the way. Again, I'm just, being honest and reviewing what I thought. If they're going to put that many people in it, then do it right. If you're going to pack a movie with so many people, and especially if it's supposed to be his kids, but you only focus on the one, like the daughter, again, I guess not everyone's going to get the same amount of screen time to develop their character. So it is what it is. They felt like they were a bit in the way. Nostalgia and cameos. Plenty of those, packed with cameos and member berries. Obviously, no Chubbs, as I'm sure that would have been one of the main characters. Adam Sandler would have definitely written back in, but obviously Carl Weathers has passed. And so that's a tough one to write in a Ghost, and I'd rather they didn't do that with AI and stuff, even though I think they're going to do that, but that's a whole other story down the road. I fear a lot of that's coming, that there'll be people brought back to life with AI, and that gives me the ick. But yeah, so no Chubbs, but for anyone that couldn't come back because maybe they have passed away, they work that in by having characters who are related to them, like sons and daughters or something. So that's kind of interesting. Again, I won't spoil it too much, but you can imagine they will try to make those connections in another way. And yes, you would have seen this in the trailers. Shooter McGavin is back, played brilliantly by Christopher McDonald, and he nails it. So from that part of just him and Adam Sandler getting back together, that was pretty cool. So I suppose that was worth the price of admission, but it's Netflix, so there's no admission. Well, there's the monthly fee. But yeah, Shooter McGavin is back. Yes, and he still eats pieces of shit for breakfast. Well, you'll have to talk to Shooter. So yeah, plenty of nostalgia and cameos. So that part's funny. And there's a new antagonist, of course. You have to have that. It's not just Happy Gilmore battling his own demons. He has to battle someone else. Probably would have been a bit same if it were Shooter McGavin. So you need someone else on top of that. So the gist goes, there's this new rival league called Maxi Golf. So it's like extreme golf. Think of it like WWE meets mini golf. It's all extreme. Or think of it like the craziest mini golf arcade game you've ever played that has spaceships and planets and giant pinball machines and dune buggies racing on the golf course. So yeah, it's maxi golf. It's extreme golf. So it's someone trying to take golf like they've done with some other sports and trying to make it extreme to set it apart, maybe make some more money. But funny enough, even though Happy Gilmore is the extreme, now he's actually fighting to preserve the traditions of golf. So it becomes this battle between all the traditional golfers in the golf league versus maxi golf. So plenty of cameos for all the sports nuts, plenty of actual golfers in the movie. And again, it is great that you can see, Adam Sandler. Obviously, he pays them, but just because people get paid, you can't always get them on board. I think everyone was happy to raise their hand and say, hey, yes, I'd love to work with you again. Let's revive Happy Gilmore. So yes, it is nice to see people coming on board to be in his movie. One of the funniest scenes, yes, this is one comedy spoiler. If you're a golf fan, you would know why this is funny. So it has the famous Jack Nicklaus is a cameo at the club, and he orders an Arnold Palmer. So that's just funny. Jack Nicklaus orders an Arnold Palmer, which is a drink. It's ridiculous, but it was kind of funny. And I have to say, so the other thing is all this that I explained is pretty good. The plot's building. He's getting better. It's now him versus this crazy maxi golf team. But then once they got to the maxi golf, and I get it, it's supposed to be a spectacle, but it's something, again, I feel it's just on par again with a lot of movies these days. They just don't give you time to breathe. And no, it's not because I'm old or something. It's just we can only interpret so much at once. A movie isn't a video game. A movie isn't you swiping through your phone. When it got to the scenes on the maxi crazy golf course, it was just chaotic and there was no breathing room. And I get that's what they're trying to portray, but you can still portray extreme, but give you a moment to see the ridiculousness. It was just, quick cuts, flashy effects. It was like a visual overload. That was just my little pet peeve. I think they could have unpacked that so much better and displayed it in a way that was like, oh, this is so crazy. And it does, but some of it, like I say, it's like a blur. I don't even, remember it. Sometimes pacing, less is more. So again, I've given you the gist of it. I'm not saying it was bad. It wasn't a sequel I asked for. That was the thing, and I don't think a lot of people did. And if we did, I feel like it missed the opportunity window, 20 years ago. And I feel like, again, because it's on Netflix, I feel like still, okay, with some tweaking and maybe a little bit higher production, I feel like this would have been better at the movies. Again, they would have to fix some things. But something about Netflix, again, feels more of a gimmick than a heartfelt sequel. And no, it doesn't capture the soul of the original. I'm just being honest. Again, I'm not saying not to watch it, form your own opinion, but this is just where we're at. A few laughs, some emotional beats, but mostly forgettable. I don't really have the desire to watch it again. And I'll be honest, the original remains a legend. And I will still watch that one many times to come in my life. What can I say? And some people don't get that, but if you're someone that rewatches movies, you know what I'm talking about. And Happy Gilmore is one of those. And Happy Gilmore 2, it just doesn't have that. So yeah, these are the larger questions though. Do you just keep milking beloved IPs? Is that all Hollywood's got left? Are there no original ideas? Where's the next Happy Gilmore? Where's the next Happy Gilmore that's not Happy Gilmore? Something that just came out of nowhere. Happy Gilmore must have sprung from a vacuum and it exists. But now all you can do is ride on the backs of those. I don't know what's happening. Can you just let a movie stand alone as a classic? Yeah, I think in many cases they should. I don't want to see Easy Rider 2. There are some movies, they are what they are. I don't want to see Stand By Me 2. I already know the ending of that. There are these great movies and they stand alone in time and you pick them out. And, that's why they're classics. Again, this felt like it just, was a checkbox for nostalgia and, not a necessary story. So again, still love Happy Gilmore, the original, 1996. Always will. Happy Gilmore 2, not so much. Again, sorry, in my universe, Happy is still happily married and not an alcoholic, and he's just happy. One more thing, not a spoiler, but obviously for anyone who's a fan, when he goes to his happy place, it is more, let's say, age appropriate for a man who's getting older. And so it's funny. His new Happy Place also gave me a chuckle. So again, it's worth seeing to get member berries and have a chuckle. I'm not saying don't see it. Watch it. Why not? I just don't think you're going to go back and reminisce and quote as many lines, because I can't even think of any quotable lines except the one I said about Jack Nicklaus ordering an Arnold Palmer. I can't think of any lines. The price is wrong, bitch. Those are all Happy Gilmore, the original. So yeah, that said, I don't know. There are other sequels that somehow were able to capture that magic again, and I don't know how they do it. Ultimately, yeah, it's just member berries. It's just nostalgia rather than a meaningful sequel that gives fans, plenty of callbacks and sidekicks, but the emotional core just feels a bit fragmented. And gimmicks, rapid fire visuals, the father and daughter arc that had potential, of course, but even that seemed a bit rushed. A few laughs landed. A whole lot of other things felt overstuffed. And like I say, unfortunately forgettable. It just felt like a very mid Netflix movie. And there's a lot of those. Netflix is exactly that. And again, I'm not knocking Netflix. They know what their strategy is. They know their market. They just produce content for content's sake. They got to keep all the little thumbnails with something new or you won't click. And this is just part of what they do. I still don't think Netflix movies is still not the same as releasing a movie. And again, that sounds like an old man. Oh, back in my day, we used to go to the movies. I still don't think seeing a movie at home, even if there are others, even if you have a packed living room, it's still not the same. It's a social experience to go to the movies with friends and family and strangers and a packed audience. And when you watch the movie, my favorite thing is that you're all experiencing some of the same things and different things, but when you're hitting the marks, especially, when it's a movie and you really know that the director and the actor and the writer, they worked on that for days, weeks, months to nail that line, to nail that part, to nail that look, that scene, whatever it is. And when it happens, whether it's a line or it's an edit, you've been there. You've all felt that feeling. And that's why I still love movies. And I've always been passionate about film in general. When the whole audience reacts from any walk of life, from different ages, men and women, adults, kids, from different countries, you're all in the same place and you all laugh at the same moment, or you all gasp at the same moment, or you all hold your breath at the same moment. That is one of the proudest moments of any actor or filmmaker. And they know, because they watch the audiences. They watch the test audiences, and they love that. They see that they did it. Everyone is reacting, and that's what they wanted. So like I'm saying, that's the kind of magic that I still only think movies can capture, and I hope we can get back to that one day. It's just not the same at home, like I say. And I will end this again. I feel like this one just doesn't. There's no really buzz except for all the the same sort of shills, like I call them, which are just the paid reviewers. Sorry, but they're just paid to say whatever it is. Cinema Blend. It's full of laughs, cameos, and plenty of heart. They're paid to say that. They're just shills. So that's all I'm really hearing is that sort of stuff. Cameos, light on substance, ultimately recommending you might as well skip. Now that's harsh. I don't recommend you skip it. If you're a fan of Happy Gilmore, watch it. But yeah, it just, again, doesn't seem like it's getting a lot of buzz. I don't know if anyone is even talking about it or reviewing it. Maybe they'll come out more and more in the weeks to come. Anyway, that's my take on Happy Gilmore 2. Let me know what you think, if you enjoy it or not. And I give it I give it a mid. I give it I would say, I don't do the 2 out of 5 or 5 out of 5, but if I did, I feel like I want to give it 2.5 out of 5. I know that's a bit harsh. Maybe barely closer to hanging on to 3 out of 5, which means watchable. For me, 3 out of 5 is watchable. So I'll say 2.9 out of 5 if that's possible. Anyway, it's up to you. All right. We'll be back soon with some more great music on Radio Motion's Tuesday Night Party right after a word from our awesome sponsors.